Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Checkered Flag Corner and a very special touchdown edition. We're going to be covering the Super Bowl 59 today. My bad, Super Bowl 59. We're covering that in this special touchdown edition of Checkered Flag Corner. Let's get into it. So, first and foremost, Kansas City really didn't have anything in the first half of this thing. The Eagles came out swinging. Philly got beat by Kansas City 2 years ago in Super Bowl 57, and their story was not over. They went and did a complete team rebuild, bringing in new rookies, new trades, and it really seemed to structure the team in a way that they could go all the way and win the Super Bowl. But like I said, Kansas City really was off their game in the first half of this. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelsey were just not where they usually are in terms of performance. Incomplete passes, uh, interceptions. Uh, they kept getting sacked. It was just a bad first half for Kansas City. And Sweat over on the Eagles. I think he had like 5 or 6 sacks, maybe 7 tonight, if I'm not mistaken. But in the first half of this, I believe the first touchdown of the game was in favor of the Eagles. Connor DeJean intercepted and ran almost the whole field into the end zone to score a touchdown. A rookie with an incredible play like that. One of my favorite plays of the game. Score going into halftime was 24 to nothing in favor of the Eagles. Kansas City really used the halftime break to kind of recircuit themselves to get where they need to be in the second half of this performance. Now that we're at halftime, let's talk about the Super Bowl halftime show presented by Jeep and Apple Music. Now, of course, this year's Super Bowl halftime performance was put on by K. Dot Kendrick Lamar, just a week removed from his wins at the Grammys. And we all knew he was going to perform Not Like Us, but man, were we still happy to see it. The whole performance was fantastic. For one, he had Samuel Jackson as his hype man. Granted, Sam Jackson was dressed like the Statue of Liberty's pimp, but he was still his hype man nonetheless. The dance choreography in this performance was on point, and the set hit so cold. In every corner, you had a square, you had a cross, you had a triangle, and a circle, and then at the end of the Super Bowl halftime performance, in the crowd, in lights, the words were spelled out: "Game over." It hit so hard, just chef's kiss. Love to see it. Great song selection. Kendrick Lamar is one of the best rappers out there in this current time, and he definitely delivered tonight. Now, while we're talking about the Super Bowl halftime show, let's also talk about the commercials. Commercials were on point this year. My favorite one has to be the Reese's commercial for Reese's Chocolate Lava Peanut Butter Cups. Basically, park rangers saying, ever since Reese's has released this, it's left tourists very confused. And it shows a bunch of tourists trying to eat actual lava. and the park rangers are trying so hard to stop it. And Tubi's commercial was kind of weird. It had a guy who had a cowboy hat as part of his skull. I don't know why, but that visual just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Let's see. Matthew McConaughey had like 5 or 6 different commercials that he was in. Tom Brady had a good one where somebody asked him, "Tom, are you okay? Why does everybody keep asking me that since the roast?" Uh, yeah, a lot of good commercials this year. Glenn Powell had a good one for Dodge. Although, considering he drove a Dodge in Twisters, they really should have referenced tornadoes in the commercial. I feel like they missed a big opportunity there. But let's get back to the actual Super Bowl. For one, I'm not used to hearing Tom Brady on commentary. I'll never be used to that. But Kansas City really started to warm up in the second half of this. They started to play a little bit better. They had a much better strategy coming out. Now, it really didn't make a difference because Philly was just on it tonight. They were on their game, playing the best that they possibly could. And really, you look at Kansas City, it looked like Mahomes and Kelsey just didn't want to be in Louisiana tonight, which I don't know why. It really looked like they weren't interested in being there, um, especially in the first half. But you get down to it, the final score of the game ended up being 40-22. The Philadelphia Eagles in West Philadelphia, born and raised, the bird is the word. The Eagles win Super Bowl 59. They will take home the Vince Lombardi Trophy. And a couple minutes before the end of the game, in the final minutes of Super Bowl 59, a few of the Eagles players dumped the Gatorade cooler on the head coach. Classic staple of NFL and American football. I gotta be honest, one of the best Super Bowls I've seen since the COVID era. One of the best halftime performances I've seen since the COVID era. All in all, Super Bowl 59, fantastic game, fantastic night. But now that Super Bowl 59 is officially in the history books and the Philadelphia Eagles are taking home the Lombardi Trophy, we can now finally say that the 2025 Daytona 500 is just a week away. And I couldn't be more excited. Daytona is a week away. We had the Clash a week ago. Chase Elliott won the Clash, and then he shows up tonight at the Super Bowl just as emotionless as normal. Dude, you just won the Clash. Now you're watching the Super Bowl. Sure, your team's not in it, but your conference is in it. Flash us a smile, man. But Daytona's a week away. The Eagles win the Super Bowl. It's been a great weekend, and I can't wait to be back here next weekend covering the Daytona 500. It's going to be big. So, with that said, until next time, we will see you in Victory Lane.